Welcome to Bicycle Retail Radio, presented by the National Bicycle Dealers Association. Bicycle Retail Radio brings together retailers, vendors, advocates, and thought leaders for honest discussions about the latest issues facing bicycle retailers. The podcast dives deep into the challenges and triumphs of the bicycle industry, providing an in-depth look at the person behind the profession. Aiming to deliver content that's both relatable and thought-provoking, offering real-world tips and insights to help you find success in the bicycle industry. There's a human side of the business, and the podcast aims to share stories, experiences, and strategies that you can apply in your own shop. Whether you're looking for inspiration, practical advice, or a sense of community, you've come to the right place. The National Bicycle Dealer Association has a rich history of supporting retailers across the nation. Founded in 1946 with a mission to strengthen specialty bicycle retailers through education, through research, through communication, and through advocacy. The National Bicycle Dealer Association is proudly supported by our members and our membership. If you'd like to learn more about the benefits of joining, please visit NBDA.com.
At the NBDA, we believe in the power of connection. It's at the heart of everything we do, and it's what makes our industry strong. Together, we uplift each other, share ideas, navigate challenges, and grow. We are stronger because we have each other. May is Membership Month at the NBDA, and we invite you to join us in celebrating all things community. Whether you engage with us in person or virtually, this is a time to reflect on the value of what we've built and to take full advantage of the resources available to you. Find exclusive savings, educational webinars, and business growth opportunities. We also just introduced a dealer hotline for all of your pressing questions and needs. Supporting the specialty retailer is what we do. Our team invites you to become a member this month when you can take advantage of a $50 discount code. Enter NBDA at checkout on any new annual dealer membership during the month of May to save $50. Visit nbda.com to join or to access all member resources.
All right, listeners, welcome back to Bicycle Retail Radio. Today is our Flex. It's our Technician Flex. It's an ongoing podcast feature focused specifically on service center and mechanics, and it's produced in partnership with NBDA educational partner, Northwest Arkansas Community College Bicycle Assembly and Repair Technician Program Director, Benjamin Glenn. Ben, thanks for being here.
It's always great. I love this time we set aside. It's great to talk with you and connect with NBDA in this way.
It's always good to catch up. So listeners, you're going to learn a lot today because this Flex is going to be all about learning about Northwest Arkansas Community College's programs, what they offer. But if you haven't been to their website, we'll link in the show notes, take you there. You can learn all about how you can earn a Bicycle Industry Employer Association accredited certification in bicycle assembly and repair. And while you're at it, you gain all these skills in bicycle mechanics, wheel repair, bearing and suspension systems, service department operations, and you get to ride your bike in like the best place on earth, right? Ben, have you been out on your bike? How's it going down there?
No, I haven't been out on my bike today. So I was out, I guess it was it was Monday, maybe. I don't remember. But I went out on some gravel roads, catching up with a friend. But mountain biking is really good right now. We had some rain, so the trails are nice and primo for going fast. So, and there's, trails for every sort of rider as well. So everything from entry level all the way up to blacks and double black diamonds. So a lot of fun.
It's like the Mecca down there. If you have not been to Bentonville, you need to check it out. And soon, I'd say we're recording mid-May, in just a couple weeks time, a week time, Bentonville will be like the epicenter of the gravel and the mountain bike and the industry coming together with races and our summits and Bentonville Bike Fest. There's a lot going to go on down there, huh?
May is really busy. We have University of Arkansas just down the road. They just went through their graduation. The college here goes through their graduation Wednesday. Then we jump right into Retailer Summit, the Bike Fest, some other events going on around that. So it's an exciting time for sure. Very busy. Make sure you book your hotel, your stay, like right now. So, head over after you finish listening to us, go over and book a room to stay. Make sure you have that secured.
Hell yeah, I love that. So, listeners, what we do on a bi-monthly basis is Ben and I answer questions that our retailers, our mobile repair units, our individuals who listen to the podcast submit to us about their service department operations or mechanics. So, if you have a question that you'd like us to answer on the Flex, you can send those questions and photos, if you happen to have photos, to heather@nbda.com. It can be super technical question, or it can be about mechanics training, bicycle assembly, or anything to do with your bicycle service center operations. Ben is super informative and really likes to get these unique questions from our listeners. So go ahead, send those to heather@nbda.com. But today is going to be all about Northwest Arkansas Community College and the bike technician program and the other courses offered. What do you think about that? Ben? We're getting back to our roots, right? I just thought it'd be cool.
Yeah. It's been a little bit since we've kind of talked about the program, and I think this is a great idea, especially as shops are heading into a really busy time. They can start thinking about what might be offered educationally, training as well. So this is awesome. Thank you for this opportunity.
Yeah, it's a question that comes up a lot in our P2 groups. And anytime I'm meeting with our retailer community, it's about mechanic certification and what opportunities exist out there, even if it's not now in the busy season, but once it slows down at the shops, so we can get those technicians trained. So this time next year, we're not maybe running 2 or 3 weeks behind. You know what I mean? We can just queue up things a little bit better.
Yes.
I got like 10 questions for you, Ben.
I love it. Yes, that's great.
All right.
Yeah, let's dive in.
All right. So first, I just want to do an overview of the main Northwest Arkansas Community College Bike Technician Program, core curriculum, and what sets it apart from other bicycle mechanic training programs in the country.
Yeah, this is a great question. One we get quite often, like, what do y'all teach? Why should I even come here? Right? That's the question. So the accredited bicycle technician program offered here at NWAC is actually a technical certificate in bicycle assembly and repair. And that comes straight from the state of Arkansas. So it's really the first college degree ever in existence that you can get from a state institute. So it is accredited by the Arkansas Department of Education. Now the courses, like you said, range everything from intro courses all the way up to suspension service and wheel building. But there's 9 bike tech courses, which results in about 27 college credits. And then, of course, we throw in some general education courses as well, business and public speaking, a little bit of math, and even some English classes in there. And those equate to about 6 college credits. Now, from there, if students want to go on and do a 2-year associates or work with a university, we do have a couple of universities that we work with that actually accept these credits within certain programs. So that's exciting for sure. But the idea here is that we're preparing students for immediate employment in those technical positions in the bike industry. So it is immediately rewarding. And our first 5 1,000 level courses are centered around those introductory mechanic skills, proper usage of tools, basic bicycle services, and then they dive a little bit deeper into drivetrain and braking system as well as those bearing systems.
Wow.
Now, in order to get those taken care, or in order to move on, you need to finish those, complete those, and then you can move on to the 4 2,000 level courses. And these build off that first semester, and the courses are in-depth and cover our electric bicycle repair and service, which is very, very relevant in today's bike shop, as well as service department operations, wheel repair and assembly, and suspension service, where we really understand the kinematics around linkage, how dampers work, and really get into the nitty gritty around also educating that customer and how you do that in a way that's going to turn them on to understanding their suspension and not just be complicated, technical jargon. Students complete about 1,000 hours of bike tech work in these 9 courses. So they are packed, right? This is everything from that theoretical knowledge, the science behind how something works, all the way up to those practical applications of skills right here in our bike tech lab. Students are ready to leave this program, prepared to jump into the bike shop, roll, whatever that looks like. They're hungry for knowledge, We've hopefully instilled in them the desire to continue education as well. So they're looking for opportunities to grow beyond what we have trained them to. So, yeah, I think part of your question was that, why do what sets us apart, right? What sets us apart? So we're in a community college, and community colleges are typically offering affordable educational pathways, and those might be sometimes out of reach for some people, right? Higher ed is not cheap. It can be pretty expensive, and can actually be expensive not only with your money, but also with your time. So the idea is that we're able to focus on both of those. So make sure we're getting a good bang for a buck, and then also getting students out ready to be in the workforce for whatever trade they're looking at. So traditionally, how have we trained bike mechanics? How have traditionally those bike mechanics been trained? We've typically, sorry, I lost my tab with my notes here. Typically, we're talking about, on-the-job learning, right? On-the-job learning is tradition. That's how I learned how to work on bikes, learning from the smartest person in the room that was, willing to teach me. And I learned from actually a retired mechanical engineer who was taking deep dives back in the, late 90s into Shimano tech documents, and I think most of the time those were offered, and you couldn't really find those online, maybe a little bit, but anyway, and so that's kind of the person that really taught me how to work on bikes, around process, how to do that. Now, what does this result in? Well, oftentimes this is going to result in some type of inconsistency in skill development. A lot of times there's limited focus on efficiency or profitability. This informal approach makes it difficult sometimes to establish clear standards as well, and those clear standards surrounding professionalisms that the riders can expect from the service department. So we get a lot of inconsistencies, right? So one shop might be a little different from the other. One mechanic within that shop might have a different operating process for this service. So the Bike Tech program was specifically created to address these gaps with a targeted focus on 3 core principles. That's going to be proficiency, efficiency, and profitability. So that's kind of our founding principles when we're talking about service as a process. So everything from your derailleur adjustment all the way up to your lacing patterns on your wheel builds, suspension service as well. So are you proficient? Basically, do you know how to do this? So what's the competency level? Are you also efficient? So you're able to repeat that in a profitable manner because of those 2 others. Now, the Community College Technical Certificate offers numerous advantages that help reduce some barriers for entry as well. As a 4-credit program, so people are earning college credit, right? It enables students to access scholarships and grant funding provided by the state and various other organizations, making it a little bit more attainable and affordable pathway to higher education. I'd like to also emphasize the extensive seat time, right? 1,000 hours that's a lot of time working on bikes. This content is intentionally scaffolded though. So we build it up to support that progressive learning. So students have time to learn, ask questions, make mistakes right here because we do have that built-in time. This structure is going to allow us to really work around some concepts that might be a little complex, some services that might be extended services and take a lot of time. We can really break these down into kind of small chunks, these manageable parts, so we can promote that deeper learning and understanding. We're also able to build in repetitive practices and exercises. And we're always relying on those process-driven services as well. So step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as well. So working from the most obvious to the least obvious and then more complicated part of that process. So this all reinforces skills and the development of that technician's craft. And we do all of this right here in the lab through hands-on exercises. So hopefully that explained a little bit of why we exist, as well as what sets us apart as an educational program within the industry.
I'm thinking about all of our listeners and how they come from all walks of life. And so if you're a listener who maybe has a college age student or someone graduating high school or knows someone who's interested in bikes and maybe went through NICA and is graduating and wants to get into the industry, I can't think of a better place to take a 2-year program than Northwest Arkansas Community College. Just the culture and lifestyle there, and to earn a degree that's going to make you more attractive to potential employers, probably get you in that service, high-end service manager position, probably because you've gone through this course and you learned proficiency, efficiency, which leads to profitability. So I'm thinking back to culinary school that I went to. This is the bike school, like simply like what I went through for culinary school. Lots of
You're
hours.
exactly right.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, yeah, how many hours? You probably can't even count the number of hours in culinary school. Does it ever stop? So we always have to eat.
We have to. No, I love what
Yeah.
you're doing there. And I have been in the classroom there and I have seen the setup that the students get to experience. And it's truly an amazing thing. And thanks to all the generous support from those in the industry too. You have such a beautiful facility there for teaching. So it's really nice.
I have to pinch myself, and folks come in like, why, wow, it's so clean. Do y'all even work here? And yet, yes, we do. We want students to leave this place and take that, desire to have organization and cleanliness to make their spaces a little bit more approachable to the rider, to the customers that walk through the door. They're not having to step over boxes or, watch where they step on the ground, make sure they're not going to, step in a bunch of, grease or degrease or whatever it is. So
Yeah.
it does help with creating an environment that's welcoming.
Yeah. So in the last question, you did touch a little bit upon the methodology for training a lot of our mechanics today is that they get hired at a bike store and then maybe they shadow another mechanic or they start building kids' bikes or they start just with cleaning bikes and they kind of just learn on the job. And I know, like me, you believe that formal training is really important, especially with the growing number of complexity of bikes, e-bikes, and just this consumer expectation that's really, I think, rising for great quality repairs. So why is this important to you, this formal training? I mean, it must be so important. I mean, you're running this program, so over
Yes, absolutely.
over
Oh,
like
go ahead, go.
over the traditional training, should I say, of just learning on the job.
Right. Yes. Yes. I did kind of hit on that. I think for me personally, and also as an educator, it's the inconsistency you get. So I think back to also some of the exercises we do in here, and the bikes we work on have never been ridden. They're not used. People don't go out and ride these, and that's because we want to have consistency in our deliverables within that education and with what we're teaching. So everyone's working on the same thing in the same process. We can teach uniformly and get the actual function to the same level with every single student in here. So formal training is very, very essential in today's industry. And it's those things you just mentioned, increases in complexity around everything from advanced electronic drivetrains. I saw some spy shots of the new Campy uh, what are they, electronic drivetrain just recently. Things, internal cable routing, hose routing with hydraulic systems, and then the big one is e-bikes,
Yeah.
e-bike componentry, e-systems. These require a bit higher level of technical knowledge or the ability to really troubleshoot and critically think about how that system works and understand what's happening within that wire, within that central area network system. So if we just rely solely on on the job training, often this is not enough to keep up with what's changing in the bikes we're bringing in or the bikes, to your point, that customers are asking for as well. So that growing expectations, riders want fast, accurate, professional service. um, and that's where formal training is really going to help to ensure mechanics are not just competent but also confident and consistent in their work. So again, kind of our founding principles there with our service that we offer, our the exercises and service that we have. And this, of course, is going to create those foundations to be really strong, and it's going to reinforce best practices. So ultimately, we're going to elevate that standard of service and hopefully establish some standard of service as well within our industry is really what we're aiming for.
Yeah. Yeah, we just had a retailer meeting where I asked the retailers, what type of training are you giving your service techs? And typical responses, which are awesome, SRAM, Shimano, some industry direct stuff like through the manufacturer. But then it was like YouTube. I mean, those are the answers I was getting, right? And so
Yeah.
when there's alternatives for fantastic training that really makes ensures that our techs are at the top of their game. I think that's like, why not look at that?
Yeah, I agree. When I was working with, or in my master's program, I did a big research project on how we learn as humans. And it is not just about visual. It is not just about doing it. It's not about saying it, not about teaching someone else. It's all of those things wrapped up is how we actually learn in order to be competent within that, in order to have that high level of competency so that we can master that skill or, whatever, we're trying to achieve by that education plan.
It's like watching, doing, reading, writing. It's like all these things.
Yes, yeah, exactly. That's this. One of the reasons we have what 12 screens in here, so we have one set up with a camera right up here by the instructor's work table. We're able to show them how to work on that with our own hands, and students are able to watch it. We can zoom in, zoom out, show failure points, and then we can have a slide deck or tech document or something. So students are seeing it done, they're doing it, they're reading about it, reading the process. So we're really trying to hit all of those pieces to the learning puzzle.
Yeah, 1,000 hours. That's so many hours. All right, how many students have graduated from the program so far, and did they stay in the industry?
Yeah, I actually just ran some fresh numbers last week with this recent graduating class. So we've been established for 4 years. So we just finished up year 4, and we've so far enrolled about 71 people in all of those courses. And completion rates have been really, really good. About 83% or about 59 people have completed the program. And that's a really important number because looking across all other industries, we're talking automotive, marine, even HVAC and electrical, the national average for completers is right around 70 to 75%. So the bike industry, we're doing awesome, right?
Nice work.
Yeah.
Nice.
We are knocking that one out of the park. Also, another one I look at is our attrition rate between the 1,000 level and the 2,000 level courses. And this is just at 6%.
Wow.
So we're only losing 6% of people between the 1,000 and 2,000 level. And that's a really important indicator for me to understand the state of learning that students are getting exposed to. So our learning environment and also the quality of content. Are we able to build on those foundational skills in a way that doesn't turn them off from the more technical, deeper dives we take into e-bikes and service department operations and our wheels course and suspension course? It really creates that picture of how well we're developing the students to critically think and their desire for success. So that attrition rate is really important key indicator, I think.
Yeah. Wow.
So the industry, yeah, where are people working, right? Where do these folks go? Why are they not leaving? Well, Bentonville's kind of a desirable place to live, unfortunately.
Yeah, they probably love Bentonville.
Yeah, but I've had some amazing conversations with folks and dealers in Florida, Pittsburgh, up in Seattle, kind of all over, and it's great to get these folks reaching out, and I always push those job opportunities out to our students and graduates, even back to year 1 students. So, I'm hopeful that we'll have some folks finally be like, yeah, I need to, branch out and, see more of the country and get some more experiences. So most of our folks are staying local. We've got 39 of those 59 graduates that are working in the industry to some degree. So some are going to work with advocacy groups. We have some really good advocacy groups here and organizations that really promote cycling within the community and also help build that infrastructure. We've actually hired one of our graduates as an instructor here, Ronnie Ramos. She was the college's Student of the Year and spoke at graduation a couple years ago, which was pretty fantastic to hear her speak in front of all her fellow classmates of that year. So about 50,000 people in the audience. Really cool. And for manufacturers, the local scene with manufacturers is growing. We've got a lot of manufacturers that are setting up either as some type of call center or small showroom of some sort. YT moved into a building downtown. I guess it's been 2 years, maybe three. I can't remember. I should know that. And they've got three of our graduates that are working there with them. So, folks are sticking around, but they are definitely staying within the industry.
Yeah, that's great to hear. That's absolutely wonderful. And that 83% attrition rate, that's really, or completion rate, that's really great. Yeah, I think once you're in Bentonville, it could become really challenging to leave. Lots of great bike retailers there too. Probably
Yeah.
very happy to have those mechanics for their environment.
And there's not a lot of us native Arkansans left in the area. So.
What about let's talk a little bit about how you approach training for e-bike systems. There's so many different motor and battery platforms, so many different styles of e-bikes. Can you talk a little bit about your training for modern e-bikes?
Yeah, so you asked about our e-bike training and how we approach, the array of e-bikes out there, the different platforms, the way the batteries are designed, integrated. So we have a course. Electric bicycles is what the title of that course is, and it's one of our 2,000 level courses. Honestly, this one could be called current events just because of those things we stated, all the different changes there, right? Um, so what does this course cover? There's a wide range, like we said, a wide range of wide range of different platforms and makers, manufacturers, brands. And so we're really covering those essential topics. And this includes advocacy as well as, educating that rider. So we're teaching them how to use that e-bike, how to use the different platforms there as well. We're getting into safety standards. That's huge. So safety around e-bikes, lithium ion, what to do in case you have a damaged battery, items like that. I've just been connected with Call to Recycle. So I'll be reaching out to them over the summer break to understand how we can integrate some of their safety and different principles within our curriculum. So best practices, and then of course hands-on troubleshooting and diagnostics as well. So those are kind of essential foundational skills that anyone that's going to be working on needs to know. And I think it's really important with the advocacy piece and rider education. We want that rider's experience on the e-bike to be elevated. We want them to continue to come back to us because we are giving them that great experience on an e-bike. Even if we're not e-bike riders ourselves, it's still really important that we're able to support that customer and the bike they ride. You kind of alluded to also, that huge array, right? We've got manufacturers from all different kind of walks of life. We can't cover everything. That's every single brand or every manufacturer that process-driven approaches to that service work on the e-bike system. This is going to equip them to really handle a variety of systems with confidence and be able to adapt their skills between brands. So Bros versus Bosch versus specialized turbo systems. Now, sometimes this course would be a little bit difficult to pull off if we didn't have some key partners in e-bikes, and that's going to be specialized in Bosch. Since day one, Specialized has provided us with access to Turbo Studio as well as some of their Turbo training. And of course, Bosch, we're able to partner with them to bring in more Montero to do some in-person training with our techs. Our technicians were actually able to leave that training with the Bosch certification, which is huge. This is the first year we're going to be able to do that. Thank you, Laura, for working with me over the past couple of years to make. So that was a big win on both of our parts. So really, it's really taking the core of what e-bike system off of that and allowing the students to get comfortable through those process-driven services that we teach them. So troubleshooting is really important, going from the most obvious to least obvious with making sure that bus are able to get ridden at the end of the service.
Yeah, Bosch and Laura is fabulous. I've had her on the podcast a couple times. I absolutely love her. She's amazing, and she's just so willing to just help out. Ben, I wanted to ask you about the diagnostic tools and technologies that the students get to work with. The bike lab, I remember it was fully equipped, but can you tell us a little bit about the tools and technologies you provide to the students?
Yeah, tools, technology, diagnostics as well. You know, what are our students using? How do we get that? How do we replicate that real world service, right? We've got a fantastic facility here that's equipped with not only just the essential tools, but also a comprehensive range of specialty service equipment. And we're talking tools for suspension work, wheel tuning, bearing installation, and quite a few more. Everything that's going to require that's required to replicate that functionality of a full service bike shop. Now, these tools, they just didn't, they weren't just given to us. So we've been able to work with a local organization called the Walton Family Foundation to secure some grant money to purchase those tools, as well as working with some great industry partners to secure really budget-friendly pricing on those tools. Let's see. So a little bit on diagnostics and how we replicate that. Our students work toward what's considered a benchmark. A benchmark as far as like timing is concerned. So we're the time to benchmark on specific repairs. These practical exercises, they're designed to build both efficiency and repeatability. So these are, again, those core competencies for the professional technician. Over the course of the program, so that over the course of those 9 bicycle technician classes, students complete 4 timed assessments, each involving 5 to 7 comprehensive service tasks. And these are going to be evaluated through a very, very detailed and stringent rubric. So we teach the students, to slow down, quality, and then we start working in the speed based off of their efficient practice of that process. They're graded on completion time. They're graded on a rubric adherence, so making sure they're checking off the list of things that particular component or system must function as well as the function of that system. So we need to make sure the drivetrain does its thing to get the rider down the road, and they get graded on the quality of that shift, shifting patterns as well. Make sure we can get our half shifts with our 2x system taken care of. Something that I'm really excited about, and thank you for the introduction to Ryan Elson at Bike Book. We've had a few conversations with them over the past month or so. and we're going to be able to integrate an offline version of their workshop tool into our curriculum starting this fall. So
Wow.
that's a huge win for us. Yeah.
He's a really nice guy. I like what Bike Book is doing, and I'm really excited to see that come into the United States.
It's very, very exciting. I think they're thinking a little bit outside the box as well. So that's another thing. It's kind of innovative. This collaboration is going to be huge for us. It's going to give us the ability to get students right into a professional point of sale system from day one. So that's really important that students understand the skills involved with creating a work order, customer communication, ticket closing out tickets, and of course inventory management as well, and how pricing is set. Bringing inventory in, selling it through. How do we even do turns? So Bikebook's going to turn us on to a whole nother level of exercises that we can involve the students in. So we're going to be able to use this also to assign different exercises to the students. So various scenarios through that work order. So we can create a job board for that student. They log in, check the job needed for that day, and they complete that. And then, of course, we'll have fake customers for them to contact and
Cool.
deliver the bike. So
it mirrors like the daily operation of being in a real service department.
Absolutely. So we'll really operate more like a service department inside this learning environment. It's going to be a game changer.
Yeah. All right. Game changer. I want to explore outside of your 2-year program. I know you offer some additional continuing education opportunities and potentially some certification programs for bicycle mechanics. So can you give us an overview of what those programs are? So someone maybe doesn't want to come for the full 2 years, but wants to take part and step into the lab and learn. What options are available?
Yeah, we have a few different options. First, now this is not for the professional person, but we do offer a series of well-established in-person community classes. This is going to cover essential bike ownership and maintenance skills. So, as a technician, what do you want your customer or your rider to be doing on a regular basis is kind of what we're covering. So how to wash your bike and not spend an entire Saturday doing it. How to lube your chain as well. So proper lubrication techniques. What chain lube do I even get for my bike as a bike owner? What happens if I have a flat, and I'm, 20 miles into a trail, or even just trying to get the worker to school. So understanding flat repairs as well as performing those. And I think the big one here is actually tubeless tire maintenance. So we both know that, I'm probably not the best at making sure that tubeless sealant is refreshed, but that's another piece to owning a tubeless tire system, is that you do refresh that sealant and, some of the maintenance that's involved there. So this is must-know services that we want bike owners to understand and, be performing on their own between service intervals. Now, a really, really exciting program that I'm ready to launch. There's been a slight delay with that through some internal processing, but we're excited to share that we've been collaborating with the NBDA and with our internal distance learning team to launch a certified micro-credential program that's accredited by the National Bike Dealers Association. So this is going to be a big win for the professional technician. It's going to be focused on the working professional. So it's going to serve the industry immediately. And that's going to include a series of online modules, so very, very accessible. It's going to focus on theoretical knowledge, and it's going to follow up with one in-person hands-on skills assessment to make sure that we can validate those service skills of your highly trained technician. Upon completion of all of those courses, so there's going to be 4 courses that the student will earn a hard skills badge. They're going to receive the NBDA Service Technician Micro Credential. Big win, I think, for us as a program, that we can bring on one more certifying body that just shows, I think, a lot of the agility we can have within a community college, as well as the willingness to really, really reinforce formal training and work directly with the industry. So excited about that one for sure. A little bit of delay. And again, this is a learning pathway that's specifically designed for current service technicians. So those folks with years of hands-on experience. And we're going to review both foundational and advanced service skills and techniques, and then validate those skills and skills through in-person assessments. Excellent way for shops to upskill or reskill their technicians. Program supports dealers in bridging skill gaps, enhancing that customer service, boosting productivity and engagement, also increasing the technicians' abilities to adapt in some rapidly changing environments within bicycle service work. Also, this could be a really compelling benefit for employees. So a way to either just bring new folks on board, or people that are highly skilled individuals, or even just retain those seasoned veterans.
I'm thrilled about this, but I cannot wait to bring this to retailers. So many retailers I know are going to be so thrilled about this opportunity. And yeah, anything great is worth waiting for. So let's, it's smart to get it done right, right? And when we launch it out, and it's probably going to come at a time where more technicians and more retailers aren't so busy this time of year anyhow. So really excited to bring this forward, and I know retailers have been waiting for something like this. Sharpen the axe, relearn,
Yes.
upskill, lots of opportunities here. So really excited for this partnership. Yay.
Yeah, same. Personally, this is one of the more exciting things I get to work on. So thank you.
All of this is not possible without these awesome industry sponsors that support the program. I mean, being in the lab and seeing some of the equipment that you have. Can you speak a little bit? I don't want to put you on the spot if this isn't appropriate, but maybe who these sponsors are that you can talk about, and maybe a little bit about what they contribute to the program, because I know without them, right, it would be pretty challenging.
Yeah, we absolutely need our industry partners. Not so much, I would say that there's supporters, partners, folks that just want to work with us and get their innovative products out to students, or just support education in general. It's been that list of folks over the past years that we've been able to add to those. So our network is getting bigger and bigger. And again, they just value education and what's happening here in this classroom. And yeah, I can name a few. Happy to do that. Not going to violate any agreements or anything like that. I think folks would be happy to know, hey, yeah, we got a mention. So happy to do that. First of all, Park Tool, right? Park Tool's a huge partner. They were instrumental in launching this program. Everything from the tools all the way to our student toolkits, which are kind of like, if you think about, you going to college, you're gonna have to buy books. Well, guess what? You're gonna have to buy a toolkit if you come to college here. So it is fun to think about not having to buy a big psychology book, or world history or something like that. I'm gonna have to buy a torque wrench and some spoke wrenches. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, our partner, Park Tool, special thank you to Andrew Fredrickson. He's the person I contact should we need anything. He's been great inside salesperson there with Park Tool, as well as Calvin Jones. Calvin's been fantastic sounding board for some ideas that I've had, and also just a really good person to speak with on education in general. So he's been a really fun person to talk with. Another first to support the program was Magura. So Magura Brakes. They came in with some amazing equipment and components, some different tools and replacement parts. They're a bike brake manufacturer as well as motorcycles, but they specifically are focused on hydraulic brakes. So having them support the program has been amazing. Huge benefit for our students as well. They've also offered up in-person training sessions. So Jude Monica and Matt Taylor come in once a year in our hydraulic brakes course and teach students about the Magura systems, what sets them apart. And then we have about a day and a half of hands-on exercises with those two professionals. So that's really when we get special guests in here and industry people, it really makes a huge impact on students because then they know someone that works in the industry. It is amazing to see them interact with folks. It's a great experience for students. Another big one, another big sponsor here in person I'd like to mention is Bosch. Bosch has been very, very instrumental in getting our e-bikes course elevated. Diagnostic tools, and this year in-person training with Laura Montero. That's been a project that her and I have been working on for a couple of years now, and we were finally able to launch that this year. So that in-person training was fantastic. We were able to work with another brand to get that bike in here that's got the Bosch equipped e-system. We have a lot of tech platforms. I think you mentioned, STech and SRAM Technical University. So we do take advantage of those as well. And thank you to STech, Stu, so SRAM, Shimano, Fox Factory, for all giving us access to the training modules that just bring in a level of reinforcement and supports the course curriculum that we're already teaching students. It also helps to develop their value and their intrinsic value for that continuing education. They're familiar with those platforms, and then they can go ahead and continue to keep 100% on their S-Tech or STU or on those training modules. It's great for learning about new product or going in back and reviewing products that they might not have worked on too recently. Specialized has been a fantastic partner for turbo training. We've been able to work with the local Specialized Experience Center to get parts for our turbo bikes. Also got access to Turbo Studio for diagnostics, so exposing those students to another diagnostics tool. This year with Trek, we opened a B2B account, so we could use them for replenishments of consumables, access to their Trek University, as well as purchasing a new fleet of e-bikes. So that's a new one there. Yeah. We were able to purchase 13 Trek rails with the Bosch system in there. That was a big win for our program and for the students themselves. Who else? Who else am I forgetting here? QBP, Quality Bike Products. They're a huge partner, right? They're a giant distributor. We all love QBP. Thank you for being flexible with an account and working with higher ed to open that account. That's instrumental in our replenishments, taking care of any new product that we want to order and buy. They've been amazing to work with, amazing customer service and team over there at Quality Bike Products. Ryan Elson over at Bike Book, that's a new partner. Excited about what's happening there. He's been offered fantastic customer service, and Bike Book, I think we've already mentioned them, but definitely excited about working with him and his team. Educational partners, that's another big one, another important. Well, you, Heather, NBDA, the staff, it's can't leave you all out. So thank you for working with us. And Project Bike Tech, that's one I've been working with. Jeff Donaldson and I have been working on some different ideas and doing some brainstorming of how our program and Project Bike Tech can work together. Project Bike Tech is technical training and service work in high schools. So that's a really cool, elective that students can take. I think they're in like 35 or 40 states, something like that. So Jeff's been fantastic to work with, and him and I have kind of brainstormed some ideas. Of course, sometimes those get a little pipe dreamy, but that's okay. You dream big or go home, right?
Dream big or go home. Yeah, Jeff's awesome, and Project Bike Tech is an amazing affiliation too. Ben, are you looking for more industry sport sponsors?
We're always open to get a conversation started. I love talking to the industry, love talking to bike shops. So yes, please email me. I guess we can notate this in the show notes, but bglenn2@nwac.edu. So I'll spell that one out. BGLENN2 at nwacc.edu. Please reach out if you want to start a conversation. I'd love to either just get your product in here in front of students, maybe have you on the screens as a guest speaker. yeah, let's talk, right? The industry is small but mighty, so the more folks we have that know about this, I think we can really change perceptions on professional bicycle technician work.
Yeah, for sure. So, and I guess I need to wrap it up here because we're going a little bit longer than our normal flexes. But if someone, whether a student, a shop employee, a rider, if there's a retailer, is interested in enrolling or sending someone to the program, let's just start with your 2-year program. How do they register? What does that process look like? And then maybe after we can just say, hey, we're going to give you, when we launch the NBDA certification one, everyone's going to know about that. So don't worry about that. Everyone's going to know. But if
we'll shout that one.
Yeah, that's going to be shouted out. But if someone wants to enroll, what does that look like? What does that process look like?
It's actually, I'm going to try to make it as simple as possible. We'll have it in the show notes, but our website will give all the different directions on how to get enrolled in the 2-year or on the 2-semester program, our 9-course bike tech program, or the easiest way. And honestly, either click my bookmarks or just do a quick Google search of NWACC, so NWAC Bike Tech. It's like the first thing that pops up on a search. Of course, you could reach out through social media, NWAC Bike Tech. So just give us a search on your favorite social media platform. It's really painless process. We have a full-time student support person here, advisor, that will probably be pinging you back, getting back with you. Sometimes those get forwarded over to me, but feel free to reach out to me as well. We'll walk you through the entire registration process. It is enrolling in college, right? And that can be a little intimidating. So work with us and we'll get you enrolled and make it as painless as possible and, give you a really good direction to go. So easy way to reach out. Just do a Google search, NWAC Bike Tech, hit us up on social media or, the link in the show notes.
Yeah. And you can always reach out to me and I'll connect you because Benjamin's awesome. We're recording a couple weeks or a week before the Retailer Summit. So I'll be coming down to Arkansas myself. Can't wait to see you. Can't wait to bring forward to the industry a micro accreditation program working with Northwest Arkansas Community College. So more to come on that. Ben, thank you as always for your time.
Thanks, Heather. Always a pleasure.
Yeah. So listeners, that wraps it up for today. If you want your questions answered on the next Flex, send those questions about bicycle service center, mechanics training, anything at all to heather@nbda.com and we'll answer those on the next Technician Flex. Thanks for listening. Head over to the NBDA website. You can sign up for our newsletter and see our complete calendar of events. All right. And with this, we go. Thanks, Ben.
Thank you, Heather.
Thank you for tuning into Bicycle Retail Radio, presented by the National Bicycle Dealers Association. We hope you enjoyed today's episode, and if you did, please like, subscribe, or leave us a review. Sharing this podcast with your friends helps us reach more listeners and continue to bring you the best content. Remember, we host 2 shows per week with ever-changing guests and fresh content to keep you both informed and inspired. The National Bicycle Dealer Association is committed to providing valuable events, webinars, and opportunities for industry education and connection. Stay up to date by visiting nbda.com to see our event calendar. Special thanks to Francis Abbott for the promotional graphics for today's episode. If you're interested in advertising on Bicycle Retail Radio or have a guest suggestion, visit nbda.com to learn more. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time on Bicycle Retail Radio.